Good morning from the Crazy Kitchen. Today we're going to be working some fresh mozzarella curd, and we're going to be making fresh mozzarella with it. I have a customer that wants to elevate their Neapolitan pizzas, and they would like to try our fresh mozzarella curd over what they're using now. And it's a relatively easy process. My company has pulled these curds away and taken the hard work out of this. The easy part is actually stretching it and forming it into the fresh mozzarella. So I've already put half. I'm only going to do half because I'm going to do the other half with the customer. That way he can try it, and then he likes what he tries, and I think he will. It comes out so much better, in my opinion, when you're making it fresh yourself. So I've got half sitting in this bowl right here. So we're going to tear this apart. So there's about 5 pounds that are sitting in this bowl. We're going to tear them into pieces about like so. This product is very cold, so it's pretty firm. Not a lot of stretch to this right now because it hasn't been put through the hot water and the stretching part of it. All right, we're going to turn our sink on. We want to get as hot a water as we can. So we can temper these curds. We want to get them broken up though first. All right, so we got these broken up into all these pieces like so. We're going to add the hot water just until it covers the top of it. And this is kind of a tempering phase. We're going to get this to warm up all of those pieces. This product is incredibly cold. Even if you took it out and let it sit on the counter for an hour or two, it'd still be very cold. So we want to warm this up before we get to the next point where we add a higher temperature to it. So show you what I've got here. All right, so we're gonna let this sit for about 2 minutes. The only thing that goes into this is salt and water, and you working it. So I will be back. All right, we're back, and my fresh mozzarella in the sink has been sitting and resting and tempering. I have water that's about 170 degrees, between 160, 175, somewhere in there. 165 is probably optimal. A little bit warmer is fine. So I have 3 ounces of salt, and I want to dissolve this salt because this will be going in one of the next steps here. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot water to this, and not to spill too much. So I'm using gray salt in this because that's what I have available. Kosher salt, sea salt, whatever works. You do want it to dissolve in there. You don't want little pieces of salt. I am using a coarse salt. Okay. So we're going to set this aside. Okay. I'm going to push this down, show you the next steps of this. I'm going to drain out the water that's on this. Now we've tempered this. It was cold. Now it's no longer cold. Now it's warming up a little bit. Don't want to lose any. All right. So most of that moisture is out of there. Set that to the side. I'm going to take our 170-degree water. I'm going to pour this in until it just covers. Okay. We're going to let this sit. So press the curds down. So this is going to, like a sponge-like action, like pull some of that hot water in there. It's going to hopefully make it so that we can stretch this very soon. We may have to dump this off and add more on there, depending on how warm those curds were. So we're going to let this sit another minute or two, and then we're going to come back. All right, so we're back, and the fresh mozzarella has sat, and now it has formed more of a mass, but it's not quite ready to stretch. So what we're going to do, drain this off one more time. So it's almost to the point. Now I haven't added any salt water or anything yet. So I did reheat my salt water a little bit so it got a little more up to temp. So we're going to pour the salt water in. Okay. We're going to give this a little more hot water on top of this. Okay. Again, we're going to press this down. So this is very warm now. So, and this will start stretching. So again, let's let this sit for another minute, and then I will be right back to show you how this all comes together. We're going to press this down on the bottom just so it stays covered. So maybe even add a little bit more hot water to this. All right, we're back. So you see this is more of a mass. So we're going to stretch this. You could use a paddle. If this is too hot for your hands, you could use a spoon to help you get it to that next step. So I've got some more hot water sitting off to the side right here, just in case the water cools down. So we're going to start stretching it, putting it back in the water. So I have found that the bigger the container, the more spread out it is, the quicker this will come together. So this is just one of the bigger ones I had on hand. I've got bigger bowls, I just didn't want to dig them out. Push this down in the water. So you'll also see I have an ice bath right next to me. If this is too hot, I could stick my hands in there, but eventually the fresh mozzarella will go in there. So we're just giving it a nice stretch. Back in the water. Getting to that point. We want to make sure there's no little bumps in there. We want this to be completely smooth, kind of like this piece right here. See how it's really smooth? We don't want any bumps or anything in there. So it still feels a little bit on the cool side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some water and I'm going to dump this off. I'm going to add a little more. hot water. All right, this is nice and toasty now. So this will come together. I'm going to give this probably another 30-40 seconds, and I will be right back. All right, and we are back. Stretching fresh mozzarella. So this is going a lot quicker. So if this gets too hot, you could always use a spoon. So you could always stretch it like so. So you want it to be this consistency right here, all throughout. And so there are some little areas like here that need some work, so we just stretch those out. Get it back in the hot water afterwards. That hot water is going to help it stretch even more. All right, so you got it to this point. This is where it's going to become really therapeutic. So forming the shapes of the fresh mozzarella, I could just scoop this all up into one big ball if you're going to do Neapolitan pizza. It's easier if you do little portion control sizes. So imagine you're going to make an ovalini, which is about a 4-ounce ball, like so. Imagine choking the life out of somebody. You're going to squeeze your fist until it's completely closed, and then you're going to kind of tear off to the side. So we're going to take a big ball like this, okay? That's about ovalini size right there. Now squeeze completely. You'll feel it tear, and you tear it off. Okay, you put it back in the hot water if you want to kind of seam that up, and then you're going to put it in your ice cold water. So notice I didn't fill this all the way up. The weight of this will displace that water. So let's say you wanted to do something a little bit bigger. So let's say like a 10-ounce ball maybe. Again. Okay, put that back in the hot water for a minute, and it will kind of seal this seam down below. So again, I'll show you an ovalini. So push that in there, like so. Squeeze completely all the way closed, and then tear it off. See, completely closed. Don't like squeeze it part way and then try to tear it. That won't work. It'll just stretch out of your hands. So we'll put those. I could have done better on this one. So how we fix that, squeeze that. Those little pieces, because the water is hot, will help remelt in there. So if the water gets too cold, just add more hot water to it.